So here we are. Right? It feels now that we are like we're in the fields of the valley of Ha'elah and we're being taunted by Goliath. But who is Goliath? Right? Is it Hamas? Is Goliath Iran? Is Goliath America? Is Goliath the West? We have so many powerful adversaries. So who's Goliath? I've come to believe that they are all Goliath. We're being called upon to slay all the Goliaths who are standing against us. Not slay them like we need to kill them, slay the fear in our own hearts, right? All the Goliaths who tower over us and mock us. We're being called to defeat all the Goliaths in our lives. And, as we say with King David, the key to slaying Goliath is not by garnering alliances with the Perizzites or begging the Girgashites for weapons and chariots. The key to defeating Goliath was taking responsibility and stepping up to the plate with faith and courage. And that is the reason that I broached this subject. The vision of the future state of Israel is because that is the root of it all. To usher in the Messianic era and envision the future state of Israel, we need to understand that it's all established upon the foundation of taking responsibility. Not only for ourselves, but really for the entire world. We could look at America and see their perfidious betrayal. We can see the threats to cut off our weapons in the midst of a war for our survival. They're threatening to cut off our weapons and our supplies. And we see their threats of not using their veto to defend us in the United Nations. We see their sanctions against our citizens. We see their moral equivocations between the most compassionate army in the world, right? Arguably the history of the world, against the most evil. And we can legitimately see all these things and feel like victims. We can look at the betrayal by the world superpower of America, who is supposed to be our friends, and we could feel just helpless in the face of it all. Or we can take responsibility. We can recognize that we played a very significant role in creating this toxic, codependent relationship with America. We can recognize that we bear responsibility for what our relationship with the U.S. has become. How? How do we bear responsibility? By having put our faith in them. By believing that without their friendship, without their support, without their largesse, we simply couldn't exist. Some people say that when you get married, you should feel that you just simply wouldn't be able to live without the other person. But no, that's a recipe for disaster. When two people come together in a union, when two people that are emotionally self-sufficient come together, they can forge a bond in which they can be even stronger and even happier together. But their happiness should not be dependent on one another. Right? The Saul-like leadership of Israel really believed, right? Really believes right now that without America we'd be lost. That without America we couldn't survive. But the Israel of King David would immediately put an end to those illusions, would immediately shatter the idol of America. The King David leader would issue an executive order that would never again accept $1 of America's poisonous foreign aid. That Israel can go at it without America's foreign aid. And that America really should open their eyes and recognize the obvious truth that Israel is on the front lines of the global jihad, of that battle that has its crosshairs on America. That if America realizes that, and they want to supply Israel with weapons because it's in their critical strategic interests, then fine. But it would not be foreign aid. It would rather be a military expenditure which has no strings attached. Right? Israel uses the weapons as we see fit, as we need to use to fight this war and have victory in this war. Israel would clearly state that we are no longer in need of America's precision tactical weapons. Right? We aren't fighting a war in the Middle West, we're fighting a war in the Middle East, and we are more than capable of making do with what we have. We need America for nothing. On the other hand, we can recognize that our old friends in America, they actually need our help now more than ever before. We can look at them and see that they are coming apart at the seams, that they're being torn apart with hate over the most insane and morally corrupt issues imaginable, right? Transgenderism and sexual deviance and immorality and just like the superficiality of racial divisions is just ripping them apart. It's really sad to see. We can be a voice of light and guidance and godliness there. We're so used to positioning ourselves as the victims that we literally don't know what else to do.